All right, so I'll introduce it. This is Lon Levin with Zenate Media. I'm here with Sarah Daken. Sarah's written a book called Does This Bathing Suit Make Me Look Fat? An incredibly intriguing title. Sarah, can you explain this for everybody?
Sure. About almost 3.5 to 4 years ago, I weighed almost 400 pounds. And I have lost 175 pounds in that time. And the book title is actually somewhat a take on with some humor because,
of course,
I am on the beach of Jamaica in a bathing suit at almost 400 pounds, asking the question, does this bathing suit make me look fat? Which is sort of redundant because, of course, I looked morbidly obese. So in this journey that I've gone on in the last 3.5 years, I have learned a lot about myself and about the process of weight loss in general. And I wanted to write a memoir about my story, more importantly, not just to discuss the how-tos of weight loss, because I think the market's inundated with that kind of information. People can go to Weight Watchers and they can get all sorts of information about, you know, how to measure things and how to count their points and how much exercise they should be participating in. But it's really about changing your mind if you want to have long-term success in weight loss. So I was more interested in the journey of getting there, but also how to maintain it. And I think that's the hardest part of the journey, as a matter of fact, which is why most people gain it back.
How did you come to start thinking about wanting to lose the weight?
Well, I had all the natural and I guess supposed things that most people would talk about in terms of weight. I was in constant chronic back pain. I had difficulty even any remedial exercise I was not able to do. I had difficulty just standing for extended periods of time. My feet would ache. The impetus for me doing it really was physical reasons. I didn't have all of the other precursors of high blood pressure or diabetes. There were no acute health reasons why I needed to do this. But I was in chronic, constant pain as a result of carrying all this excess weight around. So I decided that I was going to go on this journey, but if I did it, I was going to make sure I did it, and I did it for good. It was not going to be a short-lived, another attempt at a diet that was going to fail. And in order to do that, I figured out that there's really a 3-step process that needs to be in place in order for someone to have long-term successful weight loss. And the first building block of that is intention. So when people are making a decision to change their lives, and it could be in weight loss or in any other area, in fact, you have to really visualize yourself as already having completed the goal and see yourself as the person that you know that you can be. And with that building block in place, you can then make the decision, which is necessary, to have a very conscious and daily decision-making process that you're going to be unfettered by any kind of temptations and undeterred in the process. And then additionally, the third layer of that is what I call attention, which is that in a weight loss journey, you're going to have to pay attention to all of these things and the decision that you made for the rest of your life. So with these 3 building blocks in place, I think people can have long-term success with weight loss, but without it, I think that this is why people are doomed to failure, because diets don't actually work, and it's because the headspace has not changed, and the details are really only ancillary to the real foundation, which needs to be built first.
Interesting. And so how long ago did you start this journey, Sarah?
In February of 2008, I had lap band surgery. Oftentimes when I tell people I had bariatric surgery, they sort of roll their eyes like, oh, of course you had surgery, so that's why you lost all this weight, which I often find kind of humorous because bariatric surgery is certainly not the answer, and if it were, most people who had it wouldn't gain it back.
That's right. I heard that some people actually don't lose weight.
Many people don't lose weight, and I think that that's also, again, can be attributed to the fact that their headspace hasn't changed. So they haven't really adopted these principles that I was just speaking about. So I utilized that lap band as a tool and a mechanism in this weight loss process, but by no means was it dispositive. It was not the quick fix, and it was not the answer to my weight loss journey. It just wasn't. And so I want to share this message. I think it's different than what's out in the market right now. And I think it's intense, and the process is intense, and it requires an enormous amount of commitment. And a lot of people want a quick fix, and it's just a life change is not a quick fix. It's something that has to be maintained over time.
So it's a lot of it is emotional, and I imagine you have to do some digging into your psyche as to why you would even allow yourself to get into a situation like that.
Absolutely. I had, been working with an eating disorder psychologist for 2 years before I decided to have the lap band surgery. And digging deep was one of the things that I thought really helped me in this process. I cleaned out a lot of cobwebs, and I think that you have to do that first. But I also think that as you recognize these 3 principles that I've discussed, and I call IDA, you can do those things congruent with the weight loss as well. So in other words, a lot of times I used to think in the past that unless I had figured all of this stuff out from my childhood pains and my parents' ugly divorce, and if I hadn't figured it all that out, I wasn't going to be able to do it. I think you can participate in the journey while still working on those issues at the same time. But yes, you're going to have to dig deep. You're going to have to do that.
Yeah, okay, so I agree with you there because I've been through my own journeys and I know that you're constantly learning about yourself. So you're here and you're looking to show publishers what a great piece of work you've done, which I think the title itself is amazing.
Thank you.
So the book probably follows and is just as amazing. And is there anything else you want to say about it? Or are you on Twitter? Do you have a Twitter handle where people can follow you?
Not yet, but I will very, very soon. So look for me on Twitter and Facebook as well. I also am going to be starting a blog, and I have a website that I'm also going to is in development. So my plan is to actually use the book as a platform to develop a business in weight loss coaching. I'm already working with my bariatric surgeon and speaking for him on a regular basis, and we're going to be traveling around and doing some conference work together as well. So I'd like for my niche to not just be bariatric patients, because I think that these principles could apply to anyone who's been on this weight loss battle. But certainly I think the bariatric patients in particular, I can relate to my story just because they've also experienced the surgery.
That's great. Okay, so this is Does This Bathing Suit Make Me Look Fat?
Right.
By Sarah Daken.
Yes.
She's here at Book Expo 2011, and I suggest that the publishers take notice as soon as possible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.